want to know your reaction when you got to know about Khamenei's killing in Iran.
Well, it wasn't a reaction, it was more of a celebration. And I think um, us Iranians, we've been under oppression of this person and his regime for so many years that it was a moment of celebration. Yeah.
Have you spoken to your family and friends back home? What is their reaction and what is happening right now? We want to know the current situation because there is so much of flow of information on social media and everywhere, the news all over the world. But what is the actual situation on ground?
See, the actual situation is Iranians people have been suppressed by this regime for over, 48 years. And right now, people are happy, they are scared, they have hopes. And I saw a clip just by one of my friends shared just few minutes ago that a mother singing out of her building and looking at the missile and coming down, and by having a hope that this missile has destroyed another regime's police station or the offices or the places that they're hiding. That's a reality. And yes, war is not easy. A war is not something that any nation wants for its own people. But we have been involved with this regime for so many years, and this war is giving us a hope that finally this regime, for once and all, is going to be removed completely.
Uh, you have seen or you must have heard what happened in Iran all these years, especially how women were, tortured and how their life was made so difficult in their own country. Uh,
Yeah.
does your friend and relatives also have one such story to tell?
I haven't heard. I haven't heard. I've lived that life. I was born in Iran. I lived in Iran until I was 18 years old. I have carried the Iranian passport until 4 years ago. I haven't heard of this. These are not the story that I'm hearing. It's my own life experience. And yes, I after I left Iran, the situations that I've known, my own friends have been arrested. The people that we know, they've been, I don't know, executed, or the mass killing. What happened in January 8th? I mean, it's not. What I want to add, actually, to be honest, is that people are looking at it now and they say, oh, Israel and America have attacked Iran, and they attack, and and Khamenei is dead. I want you to look at it this way, our way at least, because as an Iranian woman, if I have lived that life, I know exactly what this regime is capable of. For a second, just look at it this way. There was a nation, 48 years, they've been on a suppression of a regime. In January 8th and 9th, they took over the streets, and in one day, the regime has killed more than 60,000 people, right? And they asked for an international intervention, and they got it. The help came, right? Look at it this way. Don't look at it and don't question. Pagal hai, why they won war? Why they want the country to be blasted by Israel and America? Don't look at it that way, because, and specifically the women of Iran, the pain that we have gone through is beyond imaginable, and it's even for someone like me, every day, the pictures that I see, the news that I see from my friends and family in Iran with their own experiences, I feel like, wow, how lucky I was that I left when I was 18 years. Because I could be Mahsa Amini, I could be one of those girls who they went on the street on 8th of January and they haven't come back to their houses. And not only that, their parents, they don't know where the body is. So look at it that way. And a lot of women, they have a question that why, as a woman, what kind of a woman are you? You don't care about the children who's been murdered in that school attack. And I asked those women, where were you in January, in February, in March, when I was trying to rally on the street and say, please, people, be the voice of Iran. That time you were quiet, and now suddenly you have a voice and opinion. So no, thank you.
I mean, the women who have been suppressed all these years, do you see the
Yeah.
entire war and especially Khamenei's death as revenge for those women?
This regime is run by a bunch of lunatics. It runs by a bunch of lunatics. They don't care about women. They don't care about men. They don't care about Islam. They don't care about anything. What they want to destroy Israel and America. They want to destroy the Western population. That's who they are. The education that they do in their school is to destroy America and Israel and the Western countries. And that's why they have been sponsoring so many terrorist organizations. And by the way, a few days ago, the terrorist attack which happened in Austin, I don't know if you've seen the news, the guy who was arrested, he was wearing the Islamic Republic's flag. So you tell me, is this a revenge? Maybe. Is this a revenge of people that they taking from Khamenei? Yes, and I'm sure the sisters and the people they've lost their life, they're looking at from the sky and they smiling at us and they say, oh, finally our blood, the blood that we lost is not going to go for waste.
So my question to you was, which I think you were, there was due to some loss of communication. So because the women who have been suppressed for so many years, now that, Iranian Supreme Leader is no more, Khamenei is no more, do you think that indirectly their revenge has been taken because they wanted
No,
freedom?
this revenge is not going to be taken by death of Khamenei. This revenge, if it's actually a revenge, is going to be taken by the fact that the regime is going to be destroyed. And this revolution is not only the women revolution. It's not about hijab. It's not about that, oh, we don't want to wear clothes or we want to be naked on the streets. This revenge is for Iranian people, for people who they have no right in Iran, for people who have been suppressed for so many years, and for people who lost their life in so many years, and specifically January 8th and 9th.
So, but at the same time, when war happens, people, a lot of innocent people, they get killed. And we have seen, and we have also heard in the news that, a school was attacked and, many Iranian girls, school girls, they were killed in the attack. So do you have any further news on it, that who were they, and does your friend or
Well,
family?
to be honest, the point of this whole conversations or what's happening in Iran, it shouldn't be how many people died, because the same people who are talking about those girls who were killed in a school, where were you in January 8th? Where were you? Why didn't have a voice? Why all these so-called activists and pro-Palestine and pro this and pro that? Where were you? And why are you asking it now? Are you part of the propaganda? Are you trying to remove the focus on an actual story, actual reality, to put it on something else? And making sure that this regime again is gonna somehow gain popularity by its own propaganda and do what? That's all I have to say to people like that. Because to be honest, the same people who are and as an Iranian, we know war is not a picnic, that people not gonna die. But if we're gonna lose more people, but in exchange we're gonna get our regime change, so be it. And we know that. It's not like we don't know that. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to challenge you on that, but Iranian people are highly educated and they're very smart. We know exactly what happens in war. But if we were killed every single day by our own regime in so-called normal Iran, safe Iran, isn't it better for us to get an intervention and some help and throw this regime out and take back our country?
You must have seen a lot of Muslim groups. They have taken out procession mourning death of Khamenei. Uh, what do you have to say about them? And also people from other parts of the world as well.
Yeah. First of all, especially to the woman, I want to say, go and live in Iran for a week. Then we'll talk. Then we'll talk. If you're not gonna get raped, if you're not gonna get arrested, if you're not, nothing is gonna happen to you, and maybe in 1 week get married, and let's see if you can divorce your husband. Then we'll talk about Khamenei. Because I have lived in Iran. I know as a woman, You have no right. A dog doesn't have a right with this regime in Iran. So, first of all, that's what I want to say. Second of all, if you love Khamenei so much and if you support him so much, why weren't you talking against Iranians since January, Feb, and March, where all these Iranians, millions Iranians, were going on the street and they were saying death to Khamenei? Where were you then? Why you weren't supporting Khamenei? I tell you why. I tell you why. Because these people are paid by some sort of an organization. It's either a terrorist organization or political parties or someone has a tie with Iran. And suddenly daddy died, killed. Daddy was killed. So who's gonna pay my bills now? Who's gonna fund my whatsoever that they're gonna do? And that's why they're crying. Otherwise, if you put them back, you put them in Iran and ask them to live there for a week, I swear they're gonna run away and they're gonna say, you know what? Oh, India is great. Oh, India is amazing. I'm gonna come back to India.
We have seen a lot of videos on social media in which we can see a lot of Iranians who have left Iran. They are celebrating, and they're also waiting for the regime change, just like you are waiting. But at the same time,
Yeah.
we also have videos in which there are people who are condemning his death. So, do you think Iranians are also divided over this?
No, Iranians are not divided because if you know the population, right now the population who's supporting Khamenei and the regime is roughly between 21%, which in 2022 it dropped to I think 11 or 14%. I'm not sure about the exact number. But if a population, which is 21%, in a population in Iran, we have I think 92 million is the number. If that 20% comes to street, supports Khamenei, and they don't get killed, it looked like a peaceful protest. And then thousands and millions of people in Iran, they go on the street and there is a mass murder. What does that say about Iran? That this country, the numbers who are supporting the change of regime is much higher. But the fact is, because the regime is in power, is supporting the people who are supporting them. So that's why they make it look like bigger. And that's why they hire reporters, they hire influencers from outside of Iran to come to Iran. They pay them to go and show Iran that Iran is a beautiful country. There is no morality police. Oh, people are exaggerating things. No, people are, no. Who doesn't want to have a peaceful and happy life? Who doesn't want to be free and do whatever they want, wear whatever they want? Who doesn't want that?
You have seen that even Gulf countries, they are also into this war now. They were
Yeah.
unwillingly, they were pulled into this war. How do you see the entire Middle East situation evolving now, if I ask from an Iranian's point of view?
Well, I'm going to repeat myself. The regime of Iran is run by a bunch of lunatics, right? If Iranian officials, they went for so-called the talks, the peaceful talks, right, which was a couple of months ago, why would they attack UAE? And if they say that we are Muslim, hum Musalman hai, ye wo Quran, la la la, if they are that, in Quran says you cannot harm any human. You cannot, right? Not only they're killing their own people, also now they're attacking everybody who has to do anything with America. And for me, what I'm seeing in Middle East, which I'm surprised, Middle East also has to join Israel and America to come and remove this regime for once and all for a peaceful Middle East. Because until this cancerous regime is not out of Middle East, we're not gonna have a safe Middle East. Look at the regime, Iranian regime, calling Afghanistan Taliban as official leaders. Why do they do that? Have you questioned why? Because they are the same. But the only difference is they are in Iran. The Taliban's are in Afghanistan, and they've been funding Afghanistan, Pakistan, so many other countries. So this is something that it has to happen soon. Middle East, I believe that they should join hand with US and Israel and remove this regime for once and all.
Okay. So you have been living in India for more than 15 years, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't know the
Yeah.
exact years, yeah, but more than 15
Yeah.
years. And since you have worked in India, how do you see India, and which way do you see India's stance currently? The way, situation is evolving in West Asia.
See, I'm not a politician, and I would not talk about Indian relationships and what the government is planning or where the relationship lies within or whatsoever. And I'm not a politician, or I haven't studied politics to be even qualified to answer that question. But what I want to say that because of Indian government, I'm safe, and I want to say thank you to them for keeping me safe, because right now I've been having a quite a scary situation. And if it wasn't because of Indian government, I would be definitely don't know where I would have been. So thank you for that. But other stuff, I'm not qualified to answer that question.
So,
Of course.
who do you think can be prospective leader of Iran?
No, I don't think about who's next or who's gonna come next. We have a leader, and his name is Reza Shah Pahlavi. And the Iranian people in Iran, they have chanted his name again and again and again. People outside of Iran, they've chanted his name again and again. And one of the biggest gathering of Canada, Munich, LA, New York, everybody was calling one name, Reza Shah Pahlavi. We have a leader. We are just waiting for US and Israel to throw down this regime, and we can take back our country and go back to our homeland, to our motherland with Reza Shah Pahlavi.
Uh, what are your friends like? They, you must be in their touch after this entire situation
Yeah.
has happened. So currently, I want to understand from their point of view, because you are in touch of your friends and family. How do they see? And because you said that there is no timeline. Of course, there cannot be a timeline for revolution. But if we ask from their point of view, are they thinking that situation might settle down in few weeks or few months, or it might take years?
No, Iranians, they're not thinking about the situation settled down. What we're thinking and what we're wanting, it's a downfall of the regime, and for our Shah, Reza Pahlavi, to come back to our country, and we can move back to our country. And what they're thinking is not about the timeline. They're just hoping and praying that this is going to happen soon, because we've been fighting and waiting for 48 years. And believe me, if we have to stay for another 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month and fight this battle, we'll do, because these people, they might have taken our children and executed and arrested and so, but they haven't broken our souls.
Okay.
They haven't, and we're still ready to stay and fight until this regime is out.
Yesterday, we one of my colleague, he interviewed one of other Iranian actor whose name is Elnaz, and she
Yeah.
had something very unusual to share about Iran's school. She told us that when she attended school as a child, they used to chant prayers, and they wish destruction of America, and then they used to go for their regular classes. Did it happen in your school also when you were in Iran?
Yeah, so I've gone to Islamic school. I have actually studied Islamic school. And every day in the morning, the way that you start your day is death to America, death to Israel, Allahu Akbar, death to British, and yeah, British government, and you carry on with your day. And the whole history and everything that they teach you, it's a lot of hatred towards a lot of other people. And for me, when I was a kid, I actually asked, I was like, who is this America? Who is this Israel? Why we don't like them so much? Why, death to Israel or death to America? I actually got punished, and I didn't get any answer. That's the reality of Iran.
Okay. So, Mandana, before you have shared a lot, and thank you so much for everything that
Of
you
course.
shared with us. So, before we
Of
wrap,
course.
we want to know from you last that you want to go back to your country, and after going back, would you like to pursue acting or some other profession that interests
Again, I'm
you?
not going to talk about myself. I'm not going to talk about myself. What how I'm going to end this conversation is that I request Iranian brothers, Indian brothers and sisters, or whoever watching this interview, please have empathy for Iranian people. If you know any Iranian right now, if you have a friend who's in Iran or outside Iran, if you're talking to them, have empathy towards us. And without you guys are judging us that, oh, why you like your country to go to the war and judging us, have an empathy with Iranians and make sure you're repeating our king's name, Reza Shah Pahlavi. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh no, one last question, because I think in
Sure.
some other interview you also spoke about Indian media, and you said that you are disappointed with
Yeah,
the coverage. Why was that? Because I
of
think
course.
Indian media was quite balanced while covering the Iran thing that has happened,
No,
the
not
entire war that has happened.
see, being bad and not knowing to do your job and acting over smart and thinking that you're doing your job greatly and then pretending to be a reporter, it's even the sadder situation. With India Today, in the middle of everything which was happening, the reporter, she went to Iran and she actually interviewed one of the officials. I saw the interview, and then after the interview, there was another video released while she's sitting in some cafe in Iran, and she says, "Oh, the regime has calmed down with the morality police. Iran, it looks like a European country or a city in Europe. It's beautiful. People are thriving." And I saw that, and I said, okay, until now, Indian media wasn't covering at all. I wasn't getting permission in India to go to even do a basic candlelight for my people. And suddenly, this person is in Iran. And if you actually research any reporter who's actually honest, if you want to go to Iran, you're probably going to rot in jails. Because if you are going to cover the reality of Iran, which is people like me, lives like my life and my family and a lot of other people, you're going to be tagged as a spy. You're going to be rotten in jail. Then on the other side, we have this madam has gone to Iran so casually talking about how amazing is why that government mass murdered 60,000 people just in January 8th. And that just angers me. And I had to question them, and I went on their channel to talk to them, but they cut me off. The moment I was talking about the reality, she's pretending that knows my country better than me. That's India media for you.
So we can
Or at least
understand
some
your
of the channels.
we can understand your sentiments on this. And
Of course.
yeah, hope your friends, your family, they are safe in Iran. And I wish that all Iranians are safe. And thank you so much.